Day today. Do tell us where you are watching from if you experienced a bit of rain or rather rainstorms across the country. I'm Liam Bernard. Dora Ngube will join us much later from our Montrose studios. Let's take a look at the stories we're chasing tonight.
The government declares Manicaland province landmine free.
And our cleared land is now earmarked for development.
In our leading business story tonight, continuous growth in exports and diaspora remittances drives foreign currency inflows.
Much later in sports news, Dynamos lift the 2025 Castle Lager Challenge Cup after beating Simba Bora 5-3 in penalties. Those are our leading stories tonight. We start off with the main news.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa says the prosperity of the African continent is in the hands of its young people.
Now, the head of state was speaking during commemorations to mark the National Youth Day held in Bulawayo this Friday. Our diplomatic correspondent, Josephine Mugio, has more.
The National Youth Day commemorations, which were held in Bulawayo this Friday, drew thousands of young people from across the country. Delegates from other countries also attended, with President Mnangagwa saying their presence is testament of the unity and solidarity that defines the SADC region and the whole African continent. President Mnangagwa used the platform to remind the young people that the well-being and success of the African continent rests on their shoulders.
The prosperity and the future of our region and our Africa is in your hands. We, the older generation, played our part to bring about this independence we enjoy today, the freedom and peace we enjoy today. The ball is now in your court. I expect you to deliver. In unity, the youth of Africa can do more for the realization of the Africa we all deserve.
He said the zeal exhibited by the Zimbabwean youth to work must be harnessed for the good of the country.
This National Youth Day is set aside and dedicated to recognizing the potential of you, the young people of our country. As your leaders, believe in your potential and will continue to ensure that your zeal and energy are harnessed so that you accomplish your dreams and aspirations and ultimately our National Vision 2030.
Unity remains a key ingredient for national development, and the head of state urged the youth to resist those who may want to divide them.
I also commend you for the consciousness you have of our rich history, as well as the future we are marching towards. I urge you to continue working hard for our great motherland, Zimbabwe, with unflinching patriotism and loyalty. Resist and reject machinations of those who would want to divide you and divide our nation.
The National Youth Day is a holiday which was set aside to celebrate and reflect on the role of the country's youths in national development. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government has declared Manicaland province landmine free, with the cleared land set to be handed over to communities for development in April this year.
The milestone achievements, which follows years of tireless efforts, were reviewed by the Minister of Defence, Honorable Opamchinguri Kashiri, while officiating the recently concluded 3-day National Stakeholder Dialogue on Humanitarian Demining and Mining Victim Assistance held in Harare.
Manicaland province is now mine-free following completion of mine clearance in the 4 districts of Chipinge, Mutasa, Mutare Urban and Mutare Rural. The Norwegian People's Aid was working in this province and post-clearance control through quality control, which was done by 15 December 2024. A takeover ceremony of the cleared land will take place in April this year, 2025.
The Defense Minister also revealed that Zimbabwe is on the cusp of achieving a major milestone, becoming a landmine-free nation with a staggering 96% of land cleared.
And since independence, significant progress has been registered towards making Zimbabwe a mine-free zone. To date, all except 12,000 square kilometers of the mine-infested area has been cleared and handed over to communities for economic exploitation. This represents 4% of the total mine fields inherited at independence, a phenomenal achievement indeed, notwithstanding erratic and inadequate funding.
Through collaborative efforts with development partners, the Second Republic is implementing several initiatives to support landmine victims as well as reviewing the War Victims Compensation Act of 1980. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
And now, in a significant move to improve cancer treatment in Zimbabwe, government has allocated over 30 million United States dollars towards procurement of advanced cancer treatment machines as well as medicines. That report.
The funds being channeled towards cancer treatment were collected from the sugar tax introduced in the 2024 budget amid commitment by government to enhance the country's capacity to manage the non-communicable disease, which has become a major public health concern. According to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Childcare, Dr. Aspect Maunganidze, the funds will be used to procure radiotherapy machines.
Amongst the pieces of equipment, linear accelerators, or what we commonly call radiotherapy cancer machines, but we also have CT scans for diagnosis of the cancer, and in addition CT simulators to be able to simulate the treatment plans, which will be then executed by the linear accelerators. There are types of cancers that are quite inaccessible for and where it's not advised to use the common radiotherapy machines, like brain tumors, where we then use the commonly known term of gamma knife. This is a piece of equipment which has not existed in Zimbabwe before, but we have lost quite a number of patients, especially young under 5 patients who have got brain tumors, and we want this to be part of the equipment that we acquire.
In addition to the equipment, the government plans to establish smaller cancer treatment centers.
As we roll out beyond the 2 institutions, we also want to make sure we put in place the supportive staff that will make cancer treatment possible away from those institutions. What we are looking at is, once we acquire the new equipment, some of the equipment will then need to be taken out from the PARI system, and we establish smaller centers, particularly Gweru, because of its central location, and Victoria Chitepo Hospital in Mutare.
The procurement process is expected to take around 9 months, with installation and commissioning of the equipment to follow. The investment is a response to the growing cancer burden in Zimbabwe, where non-communicable diseases have become a major epidemic. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
And still taking a look at health, this time we go further afield where Health and Childcare Ambassador First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is in Australia, had a tour of Blacktown Hospital where she had an appreciation of their operations and assessed possible areas of partnership. Let's get the details.
Health and Childcare Ambassador First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is in Sydney, Australia, had a tour of Blacktown Hospital where she was taken through the institution's maternity ward, children's ward, radiation oncology department, and the Western Sydney diabetes. Blacktown Hospital offers a variety of healthcare services in different fields that include maternity services, mental health care services, pediatric services, rehabilitation services, imaging and diagnostic services, emergency department, and surgical services. During the tour, possible areas of collaboration were explored in various areas, such as in the training of radiologists and staff exchange programs. The tour came after Amai received medical equipment from other philanthropists and healthcare organizations in appreciation of Dr. Mnangagwa's philanthropic work, especially in the health sector, where she is complementing government efforts in providing quality healthcare services to the citizens. The focus of the tour was also on the twinning of Blacktown Hospital and the Mother and Child Hospital that Amai is constructing back home. At Blacktown Hospital, Dr. Mnangagwa was taken through a tour of the maternity ward where issues pertaining postnatal care came under the spotlight. Clinical midwifery consultant Ms. Lisa White took Amai Mnangagwa and Dr. Andrew Mataruse through some of the initiatives they embark on to ensure the safety of newborn babies and their mothers after they get discharged from the hospital.
What we did, we developed a tool for women in the antenatal period for the midwives to give to the women to then talk about what's going to happen after their baby's born, so they can prepare and think about, what they might need after the birth. So women can scan this QR code and it takes them to a series of 7 animations that we had made, and it's about welcome to Blacktown Hospital, these are the people you might meet, this is what the midwives will do, this is what the obstetric team might do, and it talks about care once they go home and what their partner can do, baby behaviour, how to tell their babies well. Yes, because for some women, when they come to Blacktown Hospital, it's their first experience.
The First Lady, who embraced the idea of following up on mothers who have just delivered and their new babies at their homes, highlighted a desire to replicate the initiative back home, saying it is key in reducing cases of neonatal mortality.
So far, we've learned that they do home visits for the women who we've just delivered, or just looking at the women who are pregnant. In our country, we still have the problem of other women giving birth at home. So we are saying you should come to the hospital, and the antenatal has to be followed, and you have to give birth in your hospital setup, so that you are protected both the child and the mother. Yeah, so we still have that, and this is a lesson that if you have some nurses who will follow at home, that's very important.
Dr. Andrew Mataruse's sentiments dovetail those of the First Lady.
Taking care of babies when they are being born, so obviously the environment of the delivery has to be clean. We don't have a perpetuity of community cleanliness that can allow us to have proper delivery and not have neonatal sepsis. So that's why Her Excellency is talking about insisting on providing a center which is clean and making sure that the delivery is okay. But the post-delivery side of things, I think we definitely have to introduce a program like that, where we can actually, support and, maybe even a single visit, as you mentioned within the fortnight. We ask them to come back to us after 10 days.
Dr. Mnangagwa was also taken to the Western Sydney Diabetes for a discussion with Professor Glenn Mabali, Director, Western Sydney Diabetes Integrated and Community Health, on micro and macronutrition in the Western Sydney community. Professor Mabali highlighted that diabetes is the biggest health problem that they have in their area, with 18% of people who come into the emergency department having diabetes.
People that are going to general practice, same number, about 18% of adults going to general practice have diabetes. So it is a very big burden. It actually causes all the damage, to eyes, hearts, kidneys, and so it accelerates all those diseases. That's why we have to do something about it. Our patch has about 1 million people, and we have added up, we did some economic evaluation. And the cost of diabetes is about $18,000 a person. So with 100,000 people in our patch, that's about $1.8 billion being spent annually in relationship to diabetes. So it's a big deal. So therefore, what we're trying to do here is take a holistic, systematic approach to go after it. Now, health doesn't do all the primary prevention. We don't make the parks, the transport, the schools, but we insert into those things to try and make it understood that people can come together and, 80% of diabetes is preventable. And I just wanted to make that connection with you and compliment you on your great public health in this way, and it remains today.
Dr. Mnangagwa, who has been championing the consumption of traditional dishes through her gastronomy programs, talked about how she encourages people back home to consume traditional foods that are highly nutritious and medicinal.
And our people now, we are teaching them that you have to have, more especially we have traditional grains, that is rapoko, sorghum, and all that. But you need to have that at home. At each family or home, you should have traditional dishes to help alleviate the problems that we are facing now. So it's something that also giving awareness to our people that your status first, your health first, then you know what type of medication and what you consume, what you eat.
Amem Mnangagwa also visited the children's ward, where she was welcomed by Mr. Brett Seal, the general manager, Blacktown and Montreat hospitals.
Even the way the staff dress, the scrubs, the doctors, we don't do the white coats, we don't do it very, everyone's by first name basis, so even when the doctors would go and introduce themselves to the children, they introduce themselves as their first names. So it's around how you engage in those conversations that provides comfort. We try not to do, the big ward round that you would see go around, but only one person go in the room or two people. So we're just trying to create that environment where you create safety for the child and really work with the family.
Dr. Mataruse spoke on the various areas of collaboration to be explored between Blacktown Hospital and Zimbabwean hospitals. He also said Professor Glenn appreciated the role being played by Dr. Mnangagwa and the Angel of Hope Foundation in nutritional support.
We are quite happy that Blacktown Hospital wants to twin and has expressed a lot of interest of twinning with Zimbabwean hospitals, particularly in terms of equipment they can donate to Zimbabwe. Another component that they've also highlighted is the skills transfer, where they can actually have personnel from Zimbabwe coming over to Blacktown Hospital for specific training in that regard. This can involve nursing as well as the doctors. What is also critical, which has also come up, is the involvement of staff coming from Australia to Zimbabwe to actually try to do skills transfer. So we thought this is a very important key component as well. It was also important for us to know the benchmarking services that can be offered in some of these hospitals that have started small and they've grown over time to actually offer the service for the people of Australia. We also invited into their diabetic outpatients unit, which is led by Professor Glenn. He's quite enthusiastic doctor who has also worked in Zimbabwe. He also expressed that Zimbabwe has already been advanced in terms of fortification of food. But importantly, he did appreciate the role of gastronomy and the role that Here Excellent is already playing with the Angel of Hope Foundation in terms of nutritional support and making sure that we go more for small grain patterns. But we also appreciated the interventions that are low cost. For instance, they challenged the community to a 2 kg challenge, where they say that if you lose by 2 kgs, which is weight reduction, it can actually reduce the chances of diabetes by almost 30%. We think that's a very important, innovative pattern, and I think obviously it will require more coordination as we go forward. In the pediatric unit, we also appreciated that there is therapy for kids when they're actually in the hospital. They are what are called lifestyle therapists for kids that actually come in to reassure the kids that it's a non-traumatic environment. I was even surprised that children here can actually go for MRI scan without actually sedation, without actually being using anesthetic. treatment because of the psychological interventions that are actually done with these therapists that are in the hospital. So we thought this was quite a useful thing, and we can actually implement some of these low-tech interventions back home.
Dr. Mnangagwa also interacted with a cancer patient undergoing treatment at the hospital. Dr. Mnangagwa, who said the tour was an eye-opener, paid tribute to the medical personnel at Blacktown Hospital for being in a profession that has to do with saving lives, adding that theirs is a calling and not just a profession. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News.
Health and Childcare Ambassador there, First Lady Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, building linkages in Australia. We bring you back home now, where Zimbabwe continues to make strides in improving access to national identity documents to people across the country, in line with recommendations of the National Inquiry on Access to Documentation. Our next report.
The challenges in accessing identity documents, the Second Republic, through the Human Rights Commission, conducted a national inquiry on access to documentation, with a full report being published in 2020. Following up on the national inquiry's recommendations, the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission recently organized a stakeholder engagement where various groups noted progress recorded in improving access to national identity documents.
We, as the traditional chiefs, we were empowered to also help in certain instances wekuti vamwana vanofirwa nababa namai, and isusu churches the information yawo, so we're also empowered takaempower some traditional leaders to then help them and assist them in the documentation.
Isusu senzeve tinoshanda kunyanya nevana vasinganzwi nevabereki nemayouth zvekare, saka dambudziko ratainyanya kuwana nderekuti vakaenda kunoregister vachida identity documents, nyaya yemutauro ndo yanyanyonesa.
We are glad that our government of Zimbabwe has implemented various reforms at improving the legal framework protecting individual rights and freedoms. The National Inquiry Report also requires us collectively to take stock of the implementation of the recommendations, the ongoing and persistent challenges, which I have no doubt are now very few and very much diminished because a tremendous amount of progress and improvements have been recorded.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mugadza, outlined some of the measures taken to improve access to identity documents in Manicaland Province.
The program aligns very well with President E.D. Mnangagwa's mantra, leaving no one and no place behind. There have been notable developments in Manicaland Province to promote access to documentation by citizens. During the 2023 elections, communities benefited free documentation services which were decentralized to hard-to-reach areas.
The National Inquiry on Access to Documentation highlighted that special interest groups such as women, persons with disabilities, minority groups, and people in disaster-affected areas and border communities are in need of more attention. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police has launched a forensic investigation into the illicit brew of kombucha products in collaboration with key stakeholders.
Brewer, the suspect, was arrested last Tuesday on allegations of producing illegal products under the name kombucha. ZRP National Spokesperson Commissioner Ponyard said police seized the samples of the suspected illicit brew and are conducting forensic tests in collaboration with the experts.
I want to thank the public for the cooperation which they are giving to the Zimbabwe Republic Police in terms of fighting criminal acts in the country. And as we speak, the suspect has already appeared before the court and was remanded in custody to the 25th of February 2025. While at the same time, the Zimbabwe Republic Police's forensic science analysts are working around the clock to ensure that the samples which were recovered, the exhibits which were recovered, they are examined by experts. Experts we include within the police system and also others from the Ministry of Health and Childcare. What we want to say is we urge companies, we urge individuals who want to operate businesses to comply with all the country's laws. Anyone who will try to take advantage of Zimbabweans, who try to give Zimbabweans, substances which are not suitable for human consumption, or substances which are tampered with, where at the end of the day, the health, the safety of the people is affected, who only have themselves to blame, as the law will be applied without fear or favor.
Commissioner Nyatu also revealed that the ZRP has sent a consignment of confiscated copper cables seized in Chitunguza last week for evaluation to determine their exact value. Theft of copper cables has become a crippling issue in the country, significantly disrupting the country's ability to supply electricity effectively. The consequences are far-reaching, from crippling businesses to leaving homes in the dark. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Now, a sudden water flow from a Rand mine in Bindura sent shocking waves amongst residents of Chipati on Friday morning, sparking fears of contamination and potential health risks. Let's get the details.
ZBC News arrived at the scene. The water had receded, but residents were still reeling from the shock of the flood, and many expressed fears of contamination since the water had emerged from nearby Rand mine.
Mvura yauya ichipinda nepagedhi apa yabva paRand mine pawakaisa chidumping chavo chemotoro panonyikira masaineti avo. Samvura yandobva yatoya ichierera, even zvamukutongona kuti yangu afekta kwese even chero matoilets mudzimba yatopinda pachechi.
Tazongoshamsika tichiona mvura ichibva nekuRand mine uko. Saka isusu tachikumbirawo kuti ngavatiitirawo plan.
Takagara pano kwemakore hatisati tambosangana nesituation yakadai so. Imvura yavo ngavagadzirise nyaya idzi, hatisizombofara because mvura idzapinda mudzimba ndo mvura yatiri kufema. Tine migodhi, mvura inoenda, tinonwa sei mvura iyoyo? Tichaigesa sei?
Mushonga uyu makadzirira panapa chiri chete. Masvika here kuzasi uku kunogadzisa kuti vanhu vasafe.
Rand Mine Corporate Affairs Manager Mr. Jack Murewa allayed fears of chemicals contamination, highlighting the mine is located on a hill and the water is mainly runoff, adding that tests have been carried out showing no contamination. Environmental Management Agency Provincial Environment and Publicity Officer Mr. Maxwell Mpotsa said the agency is working with concerned stakeholders to ensure safety concerns are addressed.
Muzvara nhasi patangowana report takabatana pamwe chete neBindura Municipality nemamwe mastakeholders ecivil protection tamhanya tawana nyaya iyo yekuti Slimes Dam ravo ranga raputika. Mvura yakanaya madeko yakabatana zvakare nekuondomuka kwaita slimes ikoko. Varipota munguva inotarisirwa, asi tabva tauyawo tikamhanya tikavaudza zvinofanira kugadziriswa nemapepa anoda kuti vagadzirise kuneutralize nzvimbo yaerera, uyezve nekugadzirisa pakanga papozvoka kuitira kuti zvisarambe zvichiitika munguva inoteera.
The recent flooding at Rand Mine serves as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by heavy rains in mining areas. EMA has urged miners to step up safety measures and reinforce their infrastructure, including slime dams, to prevent the release of effluent into the environment. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Bindura.
Well, for more details on these and more stories, you can visit our website www.zbcnews.co.zw. Remember, we are also on social media. You can link up with us on Facebook, YouTube. You can link up with us also on X, and we are on Instagram. We are ZBC News Online.
Indeed, Joyce, ZBC News Online. It is the stories ahead in this bulletin. In business, continuous growth in exports and diaspora remittances drives foreign currency inflows. Dynamos left the 2025 Castle Challenge Cup after beating Simba Bora 5-3 on penalties. These and other stories to come. Do stay with us after this.
Stroke of genius! Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh, Zimbabwe yakuzosumuka manje. Stroke of genius andiri kureva chera. President E.D. Mnangagwa vari kupa mabankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program.
takanga takapiwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupindawo mumabhengi semamwe mumabhizinesi kuti tipeiwo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo mani zvino nestroke of genius yekupiwa matitle deeds tikupindiuka mubhengi sevamwe titopiwa maloni takutodhevelopa mafamu
saka kutuudza kuti land yese yatoneva
ende ukapiwa title deed iroro chiyera munda wako uchatoreki yatova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo security of tenure
iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi
exactly
zvichifambiswa sei
President Idi Mnangagwa igenius manje vakabva vati kuti zvinyatofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemumapazi ehurumende.
But iwo unozviziva iwo kuti kune maland barons akazara ukanopamba minda dzevanhu
dai vatoregera zvavo ndiwo kopo husiri kudiwa naPresident Mnangagwa irwowo ndosaka Land Tenure Implementation Committee yakati ngatishandisei ma-ID numbers namba dzepachitupa kuti munhu haakwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri plus Land Tenure iyi committee haisi kupa minda patsvayo iri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema-title deeds.
iwe saka zvichireva kuti tatoprotected kasei mavarimi
exactly manje
President
ukaziva kuti une stroke of genius here President Idi apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi
Feeling overwhelmed, anxious or struggling with difficult emotions? Do you feel like giving up? No matter what you are going through, you don't have to carry that burden alone. The Ministry of Health and Childcare, together with its partners, brings you the Parire Nyatwa Psychological Support Center to help you. Call our toll-free hotline 2024, where trained professionals are available to listen and offer confidential support, guidance, and coping strategies tailored to your needs without judgment. Your mental health is important, and we are committed to helping you navigate life's challenges with the support you deserve. Take the first step towards feeling better. Call 2024 today. Remember, you are not alone. Together, we can find a way forward. You deserve support in your journey to healing.
With joy, we celebrate your arrival. A journey that NASA knows well, delivering on the promise.
Focuses converged in Midrand, South Africa this Saturday ahead of the permanent committees sitting on Monday. Chief Fortune Charumbira, the president of PAP, underscored the critical role of PAP committees in overseeing the African Union's development agenda.
They are gathering in order to identify at committee level the issues that are facing this continent and how we can make and add value to the whole architecture of the African Union, and that's why we're here. That we facilitate the implementation of policies of the AU objectives and programs as committees. Are you sure you are making a contribution as a committee in health, as a committee in transport, as a committee in gender, women, youth, agriculture?
The theme Silencing the Guns, aimed at achieving a conflict-free Africa, was also revisited.
There are so many issues that we need to look at as PAP, as AU. One has already been mentioned. There's the issue of conflicts. So despite our previous theme on silencing the guns on the continent by the year 2030, it appears more guns now are firing than before. And if you look at the Eastern DRC or DRC, escalation of conflicts when we are expecting peace.
Beyond budget deliberations, the meeting addressed pressing global and continental matters, including PAP's stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict and UN Security Council reforms. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Midrand.
From the capital, it's time to cross over to our Montreux studio where Dora Ncube is on standby to take us on. Dora, it is a beautiful evening and it's now over to you.
And the rest of the team at Pokatsel, a lovely evening to you and of course a lovely evening to our viewers. I do hope you had a lovely day. We continue with the news from this end. Farmers across the country who prepared well for the 2024-25 summer cropping season under the Fumvudza Intwasa program are now giving testimonies of the scheme's effectiveness.
Mrs. Stengisiwe Moyo is a proud farmer who is making waves under the Fumvudza Intwasa program in Chitashawa village in Cholocho district, where she is successfully farming plots of pearl millet, groundnuts and roundnuts.
Ngokufundiswa ngumlimisi wami le government inginika ama fertilizer lezinye zezinhlanyelo ngiphambili kakhulu ngiyakhona ukuwondla imuli yami.
Other farmers in the area say they are keen to learn from Mrs. Stengisiwe Moyo on smart agricultural practices.
Besikubone kumama lapha ensimini kuyasikhuthaza.
Hayi osikubonile lapha kuhle kakhulu. Singenile ensimini sabona ukuthi kulinywe njani. Hayi kulinywe okuhle kakhulu. Sibonga la kuhulumende wethu ukusiphathisa ngazo zonke izinto ezincedisa ukulima intwasa.
Umlimi ke lapha esikhona abalimi baningi abakwenzayo but low ngendlela okwenza ngakhona lonyaka ukwenze ngohlonzi oluphezulu wenzile ama product phose insimi yonke sihlanganisa wonke ama product akhona lapha.
Acting Chief Director, Agricultural and Rural Development Advisory Services, ADAS, Mr. Leonard Munamati, says a combination of good rains and good agricultural practice, along with the government support, will ensure food security for all.
We are here because we have got a farmer who did extremely well, where we have heard that they have done 35 plots of Fumvudza. And the main cereal crop which was grown here is pearl millet. In Cholocho, we have heard that the area that is grown under pearl millet continues to increase.
Fumvudza Intwasa scheme has been identified as a game changer in terms of food self-sufficiency at household level.
Commuter omnibus passengers and pedestrians are sounding the alarm, calling on authorities to take action on reckless driving by commuter omnibus drivers who are putting their lives at risk as they evade arrest on the roads.
The cat and mouse games that continue to play out between local authorities and commuter omnibus operators has witnessed the passengers suffering the most. Some operators are going to extreme lengths to evade authorities, including jumping off moving vehicles, leaving passengers on board stranded and frightened. The passengers are now calling for both operators and local authorities to find a solution that prioritizes their safety.
Vabereki vapedzisira vakuduburwa kapolisi yaimira imva yatotiza panzvimbo imva yatodhisapiya yoenda vana masendere nautsikwa nemakombo anenge achingotiza achienda ngavatore namba plate yemota otsvaga motikari parodhi.
Izvezvi wakasvika akagarira masiti anaya dhiraivha akuenda achitiza, of course vanhu chida kupinda patinotsikwa katikafa kana idhiraivha afambi zvakanaka murodhi akangona polisi otiza.
Tinenge takagara isu mapasenja tiri mumotikari andizvi tongoona dhiraivha angomusa mota achimhanyisa mota achitanga achatsika vanhu.
Transport operators have weighed in, saying the local authorities must not chase after commuter omnibus drivers, but should take the offence through the associations they are registered with.
Why is it that we have been talking about this problem since 2015? Why is it nothing is being done? We as operators of Zutco and others, we have come to help the police to put order on the roads of Harare, on the roads of Zimbabwe.
The law is very clear. In the quest for us as a nation to bring sanity in our roads, to bring sanity in our public transport system, there are systems that must be put in place. This is the reason why you have seen that vehicles under transport associations, the enforcement can just call the association and they will actually have assistance. We then apprehend the vehicle and the driver to make sure that the legal process or whatever cautioning or fining is done.
Meanwhile, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, together with commuter omnibus associations, as part of measures aimed at bringing sanity to the country's roads, particularly in the urban areas, have resorted to blacklisting errant drivers and withdrawing the operator's license. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
A report that indeed shows a cause for concern, not just for commuters, but for other drivers as well. I will continue. The Better Schools Program, Zimbabwe Mashonaland West Provincial Awards, have been held in Kadoma, with government rallying education stakeholders to promote the newly introduced heritage-based curriculum.
Jameson High School in Kadoma hosted this year's Mashonaland West Provincial Better Schools Program Zimbabwe Awards, a program that aims to improve education standards in schools. Award winners representative Mr. Taones Makon said the recognition of both students, academic and non-academic staff within the education sector contributes towards the successful implementation of the heritage-based curriculum.
Tese tinenge takushanda nesimba uye takanangana nokufadza vatiri kuseva nekuti tiripo kuti tinge tichi seva zvichaita kuti ministry irambe ichienderera mberi.
Government is upbeat that the introduction of the Education 5.0 model will unlock more economic benefits for the country.
We are looking at all contributions made last year, and we share with the members our strategies for 2025, our expectations, so that whatever they will be doing, they will be looking at what exactly is required.
The Second Republic is pushing the devolution agenda, and this devolution agenda is helping schools build these structures.
Stakeholders, who include Zimplats, pledged their support.
There's a lot we do for various schools. I'll just summarize and say whether it is from facilitating ICT infrastructure, boreholes, dormitories, and such infrastructure that helps children in their learning. We've been doing that within the Mondoro Gaze community.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education got the largest chunk from the Treasury this year at 46.6 billion Zimbabwe gold, a testament to government's commitment towards promoting quality education in the country. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Kadoma.
So yesterday we were celebrating National Youth Day, and one of the programs that are lined up for the youth are the youths benefiting from the land reform program. Alien, kindly lead us into that next report.
Many thanks, Dora. Indeed, we are still in a youth mode. The youths are benefiting from the land reform and government empowerment programs in line with government's inclusive development agenda. More from our news crew.
Meet 26-year-old Petros Madzingo, a young carpenter from Chiredzi with a big vision. From his small garage, Petros creates beautiful furniture pieces which include bedroom suites, couches and chairs that are in high demand in Chiredzi and beyond.
Takatanga, let's just say 5 years ago, Matangira together and Takaona was traveling around seeing what other youths are doing. So I ended up coming with the idea of bringing what was happening in Harare and maybe Bulawayo, and we had to bring it home here in Chiredzi.
Mr. Madzingo has also ventured into farming with a group of youths under the banner Youth Farmers Association. The youths grow leafy vegetables, tomatoes and onions for resale in Chiredzi, and they are also into poultry production.
Challenge that we have been facing as the young farmers and as young people in business, it has been the issue to do with the land. That has been very, very, very hard for us. There was a time back then pataita projects educhitanga as an organization takatomborenda zvirugu. Tisati zvirugu zvamaratidzo zvatakakwanisa kutenga takamborenda zvirugu paChiredzi Government High School tikamboita projects there.
Sevasikana Youth Farmers Association inotibatsira nokuti tinenge takuwanawo ma-decent incomes. Sevasikana tinosangana nedambudziko rokuti vamwe vanopedzisira vakutengesa miviri. kuti vakwanise kuzviriritira. Saka Youth Farmers Association yakatibatsira kuti takuita mubato yedu yemaoko.
Fostering entrepreneurship by encouraging startups and supporting small businesses, especially in agriculture, are some of the efforts being undertaken by the Second Republic to empower youth.
The Second Republic-led youth empowerment programs are bearing fruit, with youths in various sectors of the economy grateful for government support and the creation of conducive environment to facilitate their entry into business. Mutare Best Village Tech owner Wilson Nyamande revealed that his 8-year-old business, which is employing over 60 youths, has grown as a result of support from Empower Bank, among other government support programs.
Takatanga 2017 a very small shop kusvikira izvezvi yakakura tichiita mbijana tichipractice patience and good business ethics. Takabatsirwa neEmpower Bank kuti tinge tiri patiri small funds but takakwanisa kudzishandisa nemazvo.
Other youths in Manicaland province are also grateful as they have ventured into various successful businesses as a result of the Second Republic's empowerment drive and the creation of favorable investment environment.
Ndakawana munda last year sema youth turikurudzirana kuti tirime nekuti murivu ndimo mega masara mune mari ndo matinogona kurarama namo zvakareruka. Project iri kutibatsira kuti tikona kurarama.
Isusu tenga chita zve t-shirt printing, graphic design, shop branding, vehicle branding, and also logo design itself. Tinoita come up nema different concepts akasiyana anoita kuti ma brands anga ari visible.
36 ma project so far are completed. Mabo takacomplete 3 muno Mutare tine 46 atiri kufana kutotanga next week musi Thursday. Saka ndikutarisira kuti zvinhu zvicharamba zvichienda mberi kana zvikaramba zvichibuda tino expandawo kune mamwe ma business tichicreate employment.
With the government pursuing the policy of inclusive development, youths who constitute at least 67% of the country's population are a critical national asset towards achieving the country's Vision 2030.
Zimbabwean youths making waves in various sectors. Well, the future is in good hands. On that note, we take a break. We'll be back shortly with business news.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
To the back of the net!
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
This is the time to take risks.
Incredible!
I've heard good things about you. Don't let me down.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV. The Zimbabwe Tourism Authority is calling all operators of tourist facilities who have not registered or those with expired licenses and certificates to come forward and register their facilities in compliance with the provisions of Section 36 of the Tourism Act, Chapter 14, 20 of 1996 by 15 February 2025. According to Statutory Instrument Number 106 of 1996, categories of the tourist facilities that must be registered with the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority include but are not limited to conference organizers, restaurants, whether in hotel or otherwise, fast food restaurants, vehicle, bicycle, boat, bus hire, courier shops, tour operators, hunting operators, tour guides, non-hotel conference facilities and venues, travel agents including those online, accommodation including hotels, lodges, guest houses, camps and campsites, bed and breakfast accommodation, Airbnb accommodation, visitor attractions including game parks, farms, art galleries, visitor activities including golf, horse riding, bungee jumping, wedding venues, picnic picnic, or Bryce Sports open air function venues. All facilities that register or renew their licenses and certificates on or before the 15th of February 2025 will have no penalties charged. From the 1st of March 2025, the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, in conjunction with law enforcement agents, will be deployed to bring all unregistered facilities to book. For further information and assistance, please do not hesitate to contact us at the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority offices that are located across the country. Travel and experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo.
The Executive Chairman, Dr. S.Z. Gata, Board, Management and staff of ZESA Holdings Group of Companies joined the nation in celebrating National Youth Day. This year's theme, Empower Youth, Secure the Future, highlights the immense power and potential of our young generation. Aligned with Zimbabwe's National Development Strategy NDS-1, ZESA Holdings is dedicated to advancing youth empowerment through training, innovation, and sustainable energy solutions. NDS-1 underscores the vital role of youth in driving economic growth, and we are proud to support this national objective. Together, we can illuminate a brighter future. Let us continue to uplift, inspire, and empower.
Welcome back. Zimbabwe is expecting more foreign currency inflows this year, driven by continuous growth and diaspora remittances.
Official statistics gleaned by the ZBC News indicate that Zimbabwe's foreign currency receipts have increased from $7 billion in 2018 to over $13 billion last year. A remarkable growth in exports, aided by the government re-engagement and engagement strategy, has broadened foreign currency inflows. Zimbabweans living abroad have also shown confidence in sending money back home due to monetary policy measures in removing barriers to free funds. Experts are confident of a surge in foreign currency inflows this year.
If you look at the past economic year of 2024, we have had about 17% GDP contribution coming from the exports. But not only that, if you also then focus on the diaspora remittances, you have got also to realize that if you're looking back in the past economic year of 2024, by September we had hit about 1.9 billion diaspora remittances. By year end it was projected to be just about 2.4 billion. Now, the 2025 projected diaspora remittances is looked at about 2.5 billion.
Diaspora remittances are contributing significantly on the foreign currency inflows for the country. And as a country, we are appreciating that very much, and that helps us to grow our economies. And diaspora remittances last year, they were number 2 in terms of contributions. Tobacco as well, agriculture-wise, is contributing also quite a big chunk.
Official data indicates that export receipts are dominated by gold, platinum, nickel, tobacco, horticulture, among others. Realizing the growth in external earnings, monetary authorities have reduced the foreign currency retention thresholds for exporters from 75% to 70% to boost foreign currency supply on the interbank market. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Stanley James there putting a cap on business news. We dive into the arts, where the Radio Zimbabwe Top 20 chart show resumed today, with Mirira by Senator Tichariva claiming the top spot. Let's take a listen.
Mirira by Senator Tichariva has made a nest on the Radio Zimbabwe Top 20 chart show as it has taken pole position for the third time. Paradzai Messi Star Kuziva was on second place, with Uripi from Mai Mainato on third place. Chakachaya Najesu from Anisu moved a place up the ladder from last week's 12th to 11th position. Tanyarazwa by Leonard Chakata was on position 6, while Magora by Precious Chakuva came 8th. Munu Wemunu by Charles Pintek was on 5th position, with Dorcas Moyo closing the charts on bottom position.
And that's how things played out on the Radio Zimbabwe chart show. Taking us to a break. When we return, we give you sport.
Yes guys, nasi ndafunga kuenda kumusha. Ndimbo spend time family rangu. Davu ndapinda mu chicken buzz. Munoizere chicken buzz. Chicken buzz.
Ngoma joro wakauya zvewe. Kwai wakabva Joni, angonese Jojedi.
Vate vasina grocery.
Ndi joro kumashops. Haitso vesa hapana chaidzoka nacho nenungo dziri pape ungazi ngoro negrocery pape.
Anga vangozara manene.
Kuna chiri kudo.
Ndavo ndaona mblazi mubazi. Anotaurisa munhu uyu.
Indonzi
Lee.
Tats. Yoruba upe.
Australia.
Alright, alright. Kana tiwasimutswana tunana kutengesa unozimutsvaga nezvantu.
Sei.
Yatatohama kudai sei.
Okay, bro.
Acheni.
Alright. Tubasi.
Ngoita izvi cats.
Tats.
Oh,
tats. Guys, ndaona munhu achitengesa chibage. And I haven't had chibage in maybe 10 years. Ndikati, imari chibage. $4 munotora iko ken? Alright.
Is 0773 426 300.
Alright. Yaita here.
Yaita, thank you.
Guys, chiri kunuwirira.
A warm welcome back. We take a look at sports news. Zimbabwe is opening a T20 match against Ireland was declared a no result after being abandoned due to rain at Harare Sports Club just in 9 overs. The Chevrons were on the crease and in a spot of bother at 77 for 5, with Ryan Bull doing the repair job on 36. Now the match was disturbed by rain from the onset, forcing a delayed start. Only 9 overs were possible before the rain had the final say. Now the two teams are back again at Harare Sports Club this Sunday for the second T20 International. And let's all turn out in our numbers and see you there.
Well, we'll definitely be in attendance. And now shifting our attention to the world's most beautiful game. Dynamos have lifted the first silverware of the 2025 domestic league calendar after registering a 5-3 penalty win over Simba Bora in the Castle Challenge Cup at Rufaro Stadium this Saturday.
Not even the rains could stop the celebrations in Bare as the Chiboko Super Cup holders Dynamos certified themselves as Cup Kings by beating Premiership champions Simba Bora 5-3 in the dreaded penalty shootout after the match ended 1-0 in regulation time. Simba Bora thought they would get the bragging rights after drawing first blood a couple of minutes after halftime, courtesy of Ishemauchi, but Dynamos refused to be held with just 3 minutes of regulation time left on the clock as Clive Mandivei leveled matters to force extra time. While the Rains dominated extra time, there was nothing to separate the two champions from last campaign, forcing sport kicks. Playing in their home stadium, Dynamos yet a show to deliver for their fans, converting all of their spot kicks, while Ishmael Nyani was denied by Dynamo's goalkeeper Prince Tafire Mutsam to send fans into a frenzy and kick off the 2025 domestic season laden with a 30,000 United States dollar check.
We will not fool ourselves that this is the end of the road. This is only the start. There's a lot of work that has to be put in for us to be consistent. Because consistency is the mark of a good side. Now we want to make sure that these youngsters get used to winning.
We are happy with the team that we have put together. I'm sure you saw the first game, but you could see the glimpses of what we think will come. These games are difficult to judge because it's the first game of the season coming from pre-season. The boys' legs, they're still heavy.
Both Dynamos and Simba Bora experienced a massive player exodus during the off-season, but have been rebuilding to mount a challenge in the campaign, which gets underway on the 1st of next month. Reynold Ngwarati, ZBC News. Harare.
Well, kudos to Dimbari there. Well, that's it in news. We now take a look at the nature in weather. Up next.
Good evening, viewers, and thank you for joining us in today's edition of the Weather Report and Focus. My name is Baba Maketa. Well, we had thunderstorms throughout the country, and they were heavier in some places. And this saw Mukandi recording 58 millimeters this morning. Rusape recorded 37 millimeters. Nyanga 33 millimeters, and Mondarin recorded 27 millimeters over the past 24 hours, which ended in the morning. Now, meanwhile, this system that has been causing some wetness over the country is still persisting over the country and is still responsible for the thunderstorms that are expected over the coming week. And we're expecting even heavier falls, especially over Manicaland areas where some other system is coming and is expected to affect those areas. That is from Tuesday up to around Thursday. Now, taking a look at our temperatures, we're expecting lower over Kariba, the central watershed, but we're expecting Obulawayo to be a little bit warmer there, as well as Victoria Falls and Chirezi, where temperatures can go to as well as high as 29 and 30 degrees Celsius. Let us take a look at the detailed weather forecast for our major cities and holiday resort areas. In Obulawayo, we're expecting rainfall over the early days of the coming week, but we're expecting temperatures to start rising from Thursday up to next week, Saturday, and sunny conditions are expected there. In Matobo, again, we're expecting rain conditions over the first few days. Gwanda, again, not much in terms of rain and temperatures rising. Mashingo, rain up to Wednesday and temperatures are rising. In Gweru, we're expecting rainy conditions up to next week, Thursday. Kwekwe should be raining for the greater part of the week, but sunny conditions are also expected towards the end. In Kadoma, rain on Sunday and Monday. Harare, we're expecting rain up to Thursday, but we are supposed to be drying up to Saturday. In Chinoi, rainfall. Lupane should be raining for the greater part of the week. Victoria Falls, raining from Wednesday up to Friday. Kariba, raining again in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In Bindura, the greater part of the week should be raining. Marondera, again, should be raining for the greater part of the week. Nyanga should be cooler with rain throughout the week. Now, Zimbabwe, that is all that we had from the weather desk. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Well, that's a wrap on the news at 8 from us here at Harare, as well as Dora Ngube from our Montrose studios. It's a wrap, Joyce?
It is a wrap, and good night.
Good night.